Okay, the jigsaw of all the courses that we're going to be trying to offer in third year is coming together, so it's time to update people and get organized with course coordinators. Just to start off with, let's remind you about the major. So our major are these 8 courses here. This is actually a fairly large major because we have sort of hidden prerequisites of that first year course and also 2 mathematics courses at first year and 2 mathematics courses at second year. So the reason we're going for such a difficult major is that we really want to have this solid base of courses, particularly at second year, but also at third year, on which we can then base our other courses. So before the last video that we sent out and the discussion that we had, we'd asked people to try and suggest courses that they'd like to put on this new base, and some of those are quite different from our old courses and some of them are quite similar. And so just to summarize, what we've been trying to do is put those into a sort of semesterization, figure out degree paths, what prerequisites would be appropriate and viable, and so forth. And so this is roughly what we've got to here. And so we're going to talk about that just briefly, talk about these courses briefly, and try and set up some course coordinators to take it from here. Okay, so to recap, we have a fluids and plasma course, we have an advanced lab course, we have an advanced condensed matter course, we have a fields course. We'll talk about what's in these things in a minute. We have an advanced optics course, a physics of matter course. We also have a physics of the earth course, which we need to discuss a little bit more to try and make it more of a synthesis course. And there was a suggestion for a GR course, but we need to, if we're going to include that, we need to get that into a more synthesis style as well. Remember, all these third year courses are supposed to use classical, quantum, stat mech, and electromag, and actually apply them in various ways. And for most of these, this is quite natural, and indeed for physics of the earth and astrophysics, it should also be very natural and easy to do. And then just to remind you, back at the honors level, we're going to have a thesis course, a course on complex problems, which is just each week we'd have a complicated, rich problem for people to engage with using various skills. So again, it's a synthesis application. It's making sure people are staying broad and are aware of a range of techniques and know how to use them. And then we'll have the electives, the same number of electives as usual. Okay, just to give you a quick look at the kinds of streams that we would have. We have here, for a single degree, it's really simple. People would tend to come in and do the 2 first year physics courses and their maths prerequisites. In second year, they would do the 4 core physics courses and the 2 maths co-requisites. And then in third year, they would do the 3 core physics courses and whatever else they wanted. Presumably, a standard physics stream might be another 5 physics courses, or they might do some combination of physics and maths or something else. If they're doing a double degree, then they get a lot less than this. So they have a lot less space, and so they have to squeeze a little tighter. And so we have to be very careful about that. So, for example, you might have the 2 first year courses, and then depending on exactly how you wanted to work it, you would have different options for how you spread your second year courses and your maths across the next 2 years. The trick being that you also have to do some third year courses in your third year in order to make it all work. And so here's one option where you do QM1, CM1, which gives you the prerequisites to do QM2 in first semester in your third year. Then you finish off your second year core subjects in your third year and do more third year courses, and then you finish off your core and do yet more physics courses. So that's how you might do a major on the left here. It's how you might do a major. Another way is you might be able to do something quite different, doing statistical and classical first, and then do these things depending on the exact prerequisites that we agree on. This would require us to, even quite subtle changes in how you do this flow, requires us to possibly put on at least one of the core courses in more than one semester. And so this example shows what we could do if we were allowing people to take the advanced statistical mechanics in second semester as well as first semester. And then if we switch over to what happens if your math isn't so weak, so this is a pathway into physics. So in a single degree, the idea is that you would start off, if you don't pass the test to get into the 101 course, the sort of main physics course, you do the foundations of physics course, and in first semester, and then in second semester, it's actually possible to do both the other physics courses together. So this is a pathway into physics that you could take. And then once you've done that, you are, of course, completely up to speed. And you can then do all the second and third year courses with everybody else on time. Now, in a double degree, this is harder again. You have to be quite tricky to do that. So the problem is, of course, that you don't have room to do the maths co-requisites and the physics courses in first year. So that bumps a first year course into second year, and that causes quite a bit of trouble. And this is one way of doing it, and this does definitely require one of the core third year courses to be done in second semester. And in this case, I've also taken the example that it's Statistical Mechanics 2. So hopefully that gives some idea of how important the exact choice of these prerequisite structures are. So the current plan is to have Advanced Statistical Mechanics, or StatMech 2, to depend only on quantum mechanics and StatMech. We expect quantum mechanics 2 to only require quantum mechanics 1 and classical mechanics. And we expect Electromag 2 to only require classical mechanics and electromagnetism 1. And all of the second year courses spring off the second of the first year courses. Now the fluids and plasma, we were thinking you would probably need classical mechanics with all the continuum mechanics and the electromag. And so provided that's okay with the course coordinators, then we'll go with that because the minimum prerequisites allow people to take it as soon as possible. But with the fluid mechanic preparation in classical mechanics, you're definitely going to need that. You're definitely going to need EM1, so that's what we think. The advanced lab, the actual prerequisites for that are not clear. It depends a lot on exactly how we build it. The less that we have, the more flexibly people can take it at different times. So, on this diagram, we don't have any particular prerequisites because it's not clear to me exactly what we're going to lean on. Although, perhaps we should try and lock that down. That's something to be developed. The Advanced Condensed Matter course, obviously it's going to need the Statistical Mechanics course. This Statistical Mechanics 2 is going to contain a large amount of condensed matter in it, a lot of the intro material, hopefully, as well as a bunch of astrophysics, which are two very good areas for talking about statistical mechanics. And so this condensed matter course can actually go a lot deeper than the current one does. And unlike previous ones, it can rely on having solid quantum mechanics foundations and the statistical mechanics foundations. And so we don't have this kind of unknown preparation for people coming into that, which is one of the things we're trying to fix. Now, what I've got on this diagram is I've got it requiring StatMech. I've also got it requiring the second quantum mechanics. So QM2 has many-body quantum mechanics, including the existence of fermions, which means that link might be quite useful depending exactly on what extra material is covered in that condensed matter course. It will definitely be used in this fields course. This is a field theory course, which is one of the gaps we've identified. It's going to require statistical mechanics, and it's going to require quantum mechanics too, because it's going to need the many-body quantum mechanics. It's going to talk about quite a lot of condensed matter though, so it's quite important that the advanced condensed matter and the fields course coordinators talk to each other. The second electromag course is going to contain a lot of the material that used to be in the waves and optics course, so it's going to be the electromagnetism of radiation, so there's going to be Fourier optics and so forth, and so that's going to tie in as a prerequisite to the advanced optics course. The optical physics course already exists, but if it requires the second quantum mechanics course as well, which introduces photons and atom-light interactions, then in fact the advanced optics course can kick up and describe lasers well. The physics of matter course is going to be combining the atom-light entanglement course and the nuclear physics course, and it's going to require the second quantum mechanics course, which means a lot of the tools that were used in those various topics are going to be already available, and so that should be viable. And that I think is all that that's all that needs. But the course coordinator can add something if they think it's necessary. We need to discuss the exact details of the physics of the Earth course, but as it stands, currently it is basically tensor waves in solids, and so it's going to need some tensors. And so I'm thinking it will require something like EM2. Now the goal of all of these courses will be team efforts, and so we'll have multiple people engaging, and over time, certainly, especially after we get the online lectures and so forth sorted out, then we're going to want to have people coming in and engaging with the workshops and engaging with running things so that we have a nice, robust, sort of multi-person team for all of these courses, particularly the core ones. And what that'll enable us to do is it'll enable us to have succession planning and allow people to move around and move in and out successfully. But to get all set up, of course, we need to have course conveners. There always needs to be a course convener so that someone is in charge and making sure that the team is working. That doesn't mean that the course coordinators are necessarily even doing the majority of the teaching, but they're going to be making sure that that course is going to go. So the first year courses are going to be done by Paul Francis, and presumably he'll be taking various inputs from lots of other people. Second year statistical mechanics course is going to be run by Craig Savage. The second year quantum mechanics course, the course convener is Andrew Truscott. The classical mechanics at second year is essentially replacing the waves and optics, and so that will be Ben Buchler. The electromagnetism is going to be Cormac Core, and so we haven't changed anything at this point. These are just the people who are currently coordinating those courses. This may change over time, of course. People might come in and out, but we will do an official handover if that happens. So for the new courses, the Statistical Mechanics 2, that will be John Close. The second Quantum Mechanics course will be me. The second Electromag course will be Dan Shattuck. And to cut a slightly long story short, Dan used to teach the Optical Physics course, which is now done by Dragomir. So Dragomir will do the advanced one there. Rob Ellerman currently coordinates condensed matter, and so he'll start off coordinating the advanced condensed matter. Cedric is going to coordinate the fields course. Marcus Doherty is first in line to coordinate the physics of matter course. We'll have Andy Hogg coordinating the fluids and plasma course, unconfirmed, but we'll have Greg Lane coordinating the advanced lab course and Rover coordinating the physics of the earth course. Okay, so the purpose of these names is these are the names you would now go to. If you want to know about what's in a particular course, you should speak to them. If one of the people coordinating one of these courses wants to know what should be in that course, then they should either speak to me or they should speak to the people who are going to be using that course. So look at the prerequisite tree and see who's going to be using your course and maybe work backwards from there. If you would like to help with one of these courses, contact these people. Contact the course coordinators. I'm sure they will be gratefully accepting any and all support to help put these things together. Like I said, many of these things already exist in one form or another, and they're just going to be tweaked. If you're having a course that now has elevated prerequisites, then you can look at what new material you might want to cover or what new awesome examples you might want to include in that course. Our goal is to have a detailed plan of what's in each of these courses to present at the September planning day, preferably down to the lecture by lecture level or something similar to that. Then once we have this plan, we just have to actually generate the material and implement them. Remember, our target date for bringing these things online is 2019, which means we want to be well advanced in preparations in 2018. So it's not a really tight timescale, but it's worth making sure we do a really good job because this is our chance to make a fabulous program.